Greetings everyone, please go mode and make sure everything's set on up. Twitter's going. And great, looks like Twitch is having troubles once again. Rumble's going, YouTube is going. Let's see, the thumbnail failed to upload again. Oh well. Yep, looks like Twitch once again is having trouble loading up as well, but I think it's ongoing. I have to double check my other computer. In the meantime, I activate the live chat windows. Now it's probably activating here, so it should work fine. Here we go. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like everything's good to go. Let's take a look, find a replay. Generally, if you get that long, players just don't know how to attack. Or how to read macro. I think I just did that one, didn't I? Whoa, 374? I don't think I've ever seen a rating that low before. 1,000. 1,000. Let's do that one. Alto Parado versus Kronos with a capital C. Greetings everyone, and great here with another Age Mythology replay. Well, on top left side as the blue Poseidon, we have Alto Parado. Small on the bottom right side as the red Tsukiyomi, or Kronos with a capital C. Of course, when it comes to these major gods, of course, Poseidon is cavalry economic bonus, spawns militia upon raised buildings, cavalry caravans, and mythic get plus 1.01 speed per age. Particularly useful for caravans, in my opinion. Good for stable myth units as well. Stable markets cheaper, improved exchange rates by 50%, and free Hippocampus Scout. When it comes to the unique units and upgrades, Lure, Hippocampus, Militia, Lord of Forces increase cavalry's line of sight, and a slight bit of health regen. I should mention Tsukiyomi as well, or Tsukiyomi. I think the T is signed like Tsunami, or Tsami. Focus on technology, Shinobi, and Cavalry. Increase Shinobi and technically with per Bushido tier. Technology increases, provides a Bushido experience. Age up faster, and free Kitsune when advancing to each age. New Moon, Way of the Moon, and of course, Senshu, all towers increase damage by 40%, fortresses increase damage by 20%, and plus 5 line of sight. Let's see. Tsukiyomi is, of course, cavalry focused, so is Poseidon, so double cavalry. When it comes to anti-cavalry, let's see now. Hermes does provide increased cavalry speed and damage, which is nice. In comparison, Ares does give divine damage, 1 divine damage for Hoplite, Militia, and Prodromos. So there's a good argument for both of them, I would say. Of course, you got early Hypasus, and of course, Toxic damage. I am always a bit more biased towards Ares due to the sheer number of useful upgrades. Cyclopes are a nice myth unit that can also throw cavalry units. Ceasefire is situational and can bail you out, don't get me wrong. But I'm more biased towards Ares over Hermes. Especially when fighting these anti-cavalry. Of course, for Tsukiyomi, we got Inari Okami, gives you access to the copies. The Spider Lady, who is not really used all too often, was 9 will improve the free Kitsune. Give them each Kitsune will increase allows them to stack their auras by 1s and increase their hit points. A very nice upgrade for them. But a very important upgrade here is cavalry hit points and increase their damage versus bonus versus cavalry, which should be a superior trait when it comes to the spirited charge. And this could also Kitsune do have a movement speed of 6, so this can help keep up with the Naginata Rider's movement speed of 6 and improve them even further. And of course, a little bit of a rating for when Kitsune or any Myth unit attacks. Let's see, it says add 0.4 Myth unit bounty earning ward. It actually provides like 40% damage dealt is refunded, is returned to as gold, which is very nice. Here it gives free Myth units or replacement units, does not affect Kitsune. Damage, infantry hit points, and Miko stuff. Yeah, Inari Okami is definitely going to be the call, I would say. We got Inari Okami being researched now. We got Hermes completed now. Like I said, I have more bias towards Ares. Generally a bit more bias in Ares. I just find the upgrades more effective. Because 1, your hoplites get divine damage, 2, your Prodromos gets divine damage, and that should multiply effect with their bonus damage against cavalry. So what do they have? ×4, right? Does add up. We got the Centaur now advancing. Of course, we still got the Thanksgiving/Halloween skin, so we got some pumpkins. Pumpkins are not a berry, but they're in fact a gourd. Like melons. Oh. Wait. I have blue. Oh no, I have red selected. I got a bit confused by the sound effects, like I thought I had blue selected. Now I do. Alantia now deployed in the field. She's the fast hero. And we've got 2 Myth units here. The Kitsune needs to probably not be in formation with the Jorogumo, or however you pronounce her name. If I remember correctly, her mythology is based around, let's see, a samurai or shogun saw a spider, a butterfly in a spider web. The spider is of course going to go up and eat it, or at least encase it. It would become its food. But he saved the butterfly, and so the spider decided to feed off of him, if I remember correctly. Instead. It's one of those, it's actually a variation of the trolley problem. While A, you can do nothing, B, let the spider have the food, or C, save the butterfly. In no short, when it comes to B and C in that situation, you choose who lives or dies. C, you just let nature takes its course. Because to be frank, if a spider's eating a butterfly, it's not necessarily wrong. It's simply the way of life. One eats the other. We do have the relic picked on up. This one increases the pierce armor of human soldiers. Nice to have. Medium cavalry looks like queued on up. You don't need to go for that until you get a good chunk of cavalry on the field. You can mathematically distill it down. After all, this effectively makes your cavalry units plus 10% more effective. Costs 300 resources. The Hippus here costs 120, so increasing it 10% effectively increases every Hippus by 12 resource unit in value. 300 divided by 12 is what? 60? Oh, does grab the guy there. Does not do any poison damage. Let's see, she does poison damage. Maybe only have to upgrade. Let's see. 5 times 12 is 60. 60 times 5. So 10? No. 10 times 12. 25? 25 Hippus needs to be on the field. That's probably incorrect as well. I can't do offhand math at the moment. But, like I said, medium cavalry can be safe. You can need a good number of cavalry forces on the field to make it actually it's worth its while. Oh, that area is traversable. I did not... This is deep water, this is shallow water. I don't know why my mind was also going crazy there. We do have now Spirited Charge being researched, increasing cavalry speed and damage. It is also only 125 food with a bit of favor. In this case, when it comes to speed, it's hard to calculate when it comes to effectiveness, how many you should have in the field before you actually get a research. But 125 is far cheaper than... Oh, does use the new moon there onto the watchtowers, get them fully upgraded with all available technology for this age, or all the available... wait. Okay, yeah, that's his unique upgrade. But yep, does of course get enable attack and also a bit of extra damage. So right now it does do 12 damage. Of course, won't be able to, didn't get crenellation, so that'll be a next age one. Hippopotamus now being obtained. Tsukiyomi has a small defense force, that's about it. Nope. There's that little bit of lag expectation my computer gets. We got Yari Spearmen available or on the field. Of course, couple exotic doggos. Multi-tailed exotic doggos. Couple Bushi. Not really necessary, but going with a handful of them versus because it's not uncommon to see centaurs from Poseidon, so going for a handful of them is not a bad idea to help arrange them. Looks like Tsukiyomi's aging up to Hachiman. You have access to Tengu, Golden Kite, 8 banners, and Dan no Aura. Let's see. Increasing range soldier attack, hero attack, which double applies to the Bushis, heroes for train, and health regen. And of course, does give you Shogun to upgrade your daimyo to Shogun. Or when it comes to Poseidon, you also go for Dionysus or Aphrodite. I think Dionysus generally goes better for Poseidon. You get increased hit points, but particularly Tharkin horses get them life stealed. This gives your villagers increased favor generation and increase build speed, carrying capacity, and move speed. Nice upgrades. Aphrodite is definitely the villager one. And Dionysus is definitely meant for cavalry, but also a little bit generalist. Hachiman has been aged on up. You got the free Kitsune there. Now up to 3 Kitsune. More Mikos, more Yari Spearmen. He's also aging up with or researching the Inari Akami. Increase generates gold when attacking enemy units. Pegasus flying about. Villagers migrating over here to the delicious venison deposit. We actually seen the upgraded Tengu. Aesthetic practices increases their boost jump rate by 50%. I think means they fly faster. As they increase their hack and pierce boost rate for jump. Maximum range and line of sight. What exactly do they... I rarely ever see Tengus. There's the Shogun. Leaps in battle boosts his stats, good against human soldiers. So it increases pierce damage, which it doesn't have any, so maybe something situational there. So when it completes its jump, it just gets a boost of damage. It does have high attack speed, so its DPS is higher. So in theory, if it increases base damage output, that would be very nice for its jumping capabilities. And its damage is quite high, so maybe with the Inari Okami, the one that gives myth units generate gold upon attacking, that could be very useful for it. A couple of Tengus push right forward. They're not Mecha Tengus from Red Alert 3, but they shall do. Oh, that jump was horrible. Right now they're doing 45 damage. They are Tengu Masters, so that's actually quite a bit of increased damage increase. Lasted maybe for 5 seconds there, so probably get at least 3 attacks done at boosted damage. That's interesting. The reason why I'm taking a look at Tengus right now, because they don't jump very far, that's for sure. I don't think I've ever really seen players they build one. They only get the free ones, but now we've got 3 Tengus on the field. Pegasus in this formation. We've got, of course, the 3 Kitsune here. Good number of Hippos here. Dionysus queuing up, going for stone walls. More Tengus. More Toxays being queued on the field. Good idea. His opponent has gone for a counter force, which is very understandable. More reasons why to go for Ares, but Dionysus being queued on up. Watermill deployed in the field, ready to mill all of these boar into thin red paste. Just copper upgrades right now on the Daimyo. I wonder if the golden kite affects him. Doing some health regen, that could be very nice if it does. Dynas on the way, copper upgrades on the way, medium range soldiers on the way. With Age up soon to be complete, he'll have one Hydra to hail immediately right here. Those forces are counterattacking towards these villagers. Very good counterattack. So he's going to take some losses there. Kappa's been summoned here as well. He's just going to go for the villagers. Right now it's at 36, so just keep an eye on that number for now. Villagers migrating back here. Let's just keep an eye on the what was like 44 or 45. Countered on fire. Thesis trying to counter. Oxay's firing away. Did all those Kappas ceasefire complete? I swear, this god power needs to be toned down. Wait, did he go? Seems like it's extra large that time. That thing literally took out all those Hippos. It should not be going past, like, I don't know, 8 models of kills. That took out an entire army. I swear, that god power needs to be toned down really severely. Maybe reduce the radius to a small little focused area like this wide, rather than having it this wide. Villagers taking a bit of damage there. We've got Bronze now activated. Hippolyta now on the field as well. Should be able to pick off some of these Tengus from a distance. Daimyo here firing away. Every 100 damage it does is some 1-3 samurai. Daimyo still going pretty strong at the moment. More Yari Spearmen, and they got some Yumi Archers not being pulled in the field as well. Not enough for the heavy research just yet. Daimyo still alive, which does not provide any experience generation. Tess is on the field. He's focused on the Tengu. Towns are under fire. Of course, handful of militia will be popping out here and there. No watchtower upgrade, which would be very useful right now. Red's down to 33 villagers. Blue still has 40. Inside the town center, we have appears to be 0 at the moment. He does have a secondary town center over here. And the heavy upgrade just comes complete. Oh, the Hydra's got up to 3 heads. But does get picked off there. It's free samurai on the field. Looks like a number of these piggies have been obtained by Red. Probably won't be able to get them on home because the building's nearby. Good number of samurais there. I think he built 0, so these are all from the Shogun. Shogun's took a fair amount of damage. Or for a large number of Mikos. Turkey got summoned there. Daimyo falling back here. I am curious if Daimyo can summon samurai for attacking wildlife. If it does, that'll be a little bit overpowered. I think I see scaffolding on top of the town center there. Blue's going to try to rebuild the town center now. 41 versus 36 villagers at the moment. Right now, Blue's actually does not have any food income, nor does he have enough full food to start keep up more villagers. So there's going to be a little bit of a slowdown in village production for Blue. Got a castle here. Red does have a decent force here. A couple of Mikos on the front line for healing. Some of these units are quite wounded, like that Tengu is down in his 20s. Was it the Shogun going down there? That may have been the Shogun going down there. Don't know what upgrade that was. I think that was the upgrade for the Mikos. Yes, it was. Heals faster, can pick up relics upgrade. Simple enough. I actually don't really see people go for this upgrade all too often. 25-25, it's basically just a governor to slow down people from picking up relics. Howdy. So that's the priest upgrade. We have more talks today, as we've got the plow here. Daylight savings is probably what you're referring to. Daylight savings happened here. I hate daylight savings. I'm guessing you're not from the US. Or you're from Arizona and or Hawaii. Keyword and. Got another castle here. Tengu's pushing the way forward. This area is all blue water here, so we'll not be able to traverse through this region. You have some of these Yomi there. Pegasus gets shot down. That could be the free Pegasus will occasionally be replaced. Heavy cavalry, Tharkian horses being queued on up. More of the Yaris being employed in the field. Of course, all of his hippos went down here to a single god power. I really do think this needs to be toned down. It took out an entire army when it was raiding villagers. That should be an if it's going to retain the power, it needs to be age 3 god power, not age 2. Oh, Tengus are jumping across the river. Very nice. Excellent work.
Leia.
We do now have some hippos being employed in the field, as well as more Toxidase. Pumbaa's now being obtained. Akuda Matata that. It's a wonderful place. Villagers obtaining more Pumbaa here. And Blue's actually running out of food deposits back home. There is, of course, some here. You can always generate some more with the lure. He has a good amount of favor right now. You now have irrigation here. A very good number of Tengus. Do now have the fortified towns upgrade for Tsukiyomi, which actually still has the one town center. Can build 3 more in the sphere of influence. Ipis finds the villagers here. Nope, they are in a general move order, but does manage perhaps to get a bit of a glimpse of them. Trying to go for a castle here. Of course, with Tharkian horses, if they had any damage, they would no longer have any damage onto them. Nice little pick there on these villagers. Red Halberds and advance over here do have these crossbows. Siege crossbows. Militia got impaled. Tengus all jumped away forward. Atlantia advancing. Hippolyta's available. Thesis, I don't see him in this region if he is still existing. He has enough favor for any of his god powers at the moment. Tengu's jumping on top of the Toxidase. Watchtowers here. Goes for another bronze. We have a number of these Naginata Riders which are counter archers. But there's enough defense here to help hit them pretty hard. Yari Spear more of a counter cavalry unit. Got these crossbows trying to gauge the castle or fortress there. If there's some villagers flanking hitting those siege crossbows. A tree went flying. I haven't seen that in this game. I wonder if the crossbows did something weird there. Got another Hydra to hail. He's not being targeted down. You should get another head relatively soon, and that's how you get head, of course. Taking a bit of damage there. Does get a third head there. Hydra slowly going down. Hydra has 5 health remaining. Of course, Poseidon does not have any way to heal him up. No restoration. He can always go to upgrade the upgrade for health regen on Skylas and Hydras. The Chthonic Rites. That's what I'm hearing. There's Thesis. He's having trouble versus the Yari Spearman. Try out a couple heroes, very likely. I love ragdolls. A lot of games do well to have good ragdolls. Age of Empires 3 has also good ragdolls for Age of Empires game. Strangely, I suppose Age of Empires 4 doesn't have ragdolls, but not really units to cause them. Same engine as Company Heroes, but I can't say the physics engine still exists. We do have the Okun Nushi, which is the Siege 1 Siege God power, or Siege Minor God. He provides, of course, makes your God powers immediately available for free, and of course makes them cheaper. Flying bird that throws zombies. Training research rate at that point in the game, it's not too bad, but also here, plus 50% damage and plus 4 range on siege weapons. That's effectively another, that's even improved draft horses, which makes them pretty good in my opinion. Howdy, Merry Friday. And if I don't see you, Happy Thanksgiving. Probably the best holiday, honestly. It's my favorite holiday. Got to hit the Petrobolus engaging the castle. The Swamplands are just grabbing a lot of units once again. You can see all the Kappas poking their heads out there. Killed off maybe 20 units there? Yeah, probably closer to 12. Me, I had early Thanksgiving. I visited my family last Friday, or last Saturday. Since I work on the Friday after Thanksgiving, it's a good idea to have an early Thanksgiving. You don't have to have Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. Oops. Plus, it always helps out my coworkers so they can go home and visit their family. Shogun has been resummoned. Fortress on fire, stable as well. Guess he didn't want his won't have any stability in his life. We got some walls here. It looks like the stone wall upgrade must have been cancelled at one point in time. I remember seeing it actually being researched. The Shasino Bannerman now being queued on up, which does provide cavalry bonus damage and health hit points. More Bushi, more Yari Spearmen. Got the Conscription and Iron Armor. Or Conscript. There's Iron Armor. Island upgrades and sort of move around. Tsukiyomi's actually low in food, plenty of gold, low in wood. He has only a couple rice farms there. He's ate all the food in the center map, so it looks like he's okay. He's getting this deposit of venison, but needs to start eyeing perhaps more farms in the near future. Though he does still have a decent amount of food on the field. More Toxays going to each of the heroes. Thanksgiving was your favorite, my favorite, was my grandfather's favorite holiday too. I don't know why, I just like it the best of all the holidays. We do now have flood control being researched. Gold now being obtained here. We do have, do have a market here. Going for some donkey caravans. Not a bad idea to go for that a little bit early. We do now have ballistics being researched. More stables. Not really being really needed at the moment. It doesn't not using the current amount, but we'll probably need in the near future. Not max out population as well. He's probably just trying to save up for an age up. Let's see, Artemis or Hepatis. I like the Plenty Vault. And Herotaros is a very, very good unique unit here. The AoE damage is very nice. Artemis, of course, provides a very powerful god power as well. Can't say anything, both are very good. Heroes get bonus damage from myth units, not really super important there. And more damage for ranged units, which it's Poseidon, so maybe not so much. Yeah, I think Hepatis would be better. Improve the Herotaros. Also increase bonus damage versus myth units. Armory techs become cheaper. And ironically, the Colossus is the least useful thing there, because you just want to save up for extra Plenty Vaults. Atlantia engaged the Tengus. This Tengu will be going down. We're seeing the siege crossbows now. Also, Shinobi being summoned. Let's see, what upgrades has he gone for? Applied upgrades, available upgrades. Has not gotten mechanical artisans nor engineers. With these two combined, the siege crossbows have a range of 30, which is pretty absurd. Plus 100% damage, so we have 50 base damage as well. After this being researched up, he may be saving up his favor for the new moon to do utilizing the castle, which will also apply all these other researches, such as the advanced fortifications, and of course also draft horses while at it. 8 banners gives heroes a health regen. I am curious if that affects daimyos. If it does, that could be very nice to have. We do have now some Pell tasks being researched. Miko, triple villager queue. Tsukuyomi is actually having trouble with food for his villager income. I guess the lack of food of him slow down his production. One town center has not been claimed. And you got these wretches being summoned. My grandmother and her daughters will make a feast while we watch football. He was not much of a football fan though. For us, when I was growing up, and also before my grandmother passed away, we used to help out with like a big, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, big cooking day with a lot of our cousins. Though, of course, after COVID, and then later on my grandmother passed away, that sort of all ended. Though I did make some horrible joke of like, since my grandmother used to peel potatoes, I said, what are we gonna do this year? We lost our potato peeler. We do have the 8 banners being researched. I think he could have saved it and gone from New Moon onto the castle to get that research for free. Plenty Vault has been obtained. We do have now a red advancing forward of decent amount of cavalry. We got some heavy horse archers now uploading the field as well. The Colossus here. Good number of castles here. And here are siege weapons. There it is. Right now it's at 25. Oh, what is this? Is that from the dock? He built the dock and does some of this here, which apparently can go on land. I have not seen this guy before. Creepy thing. Umi Bozu. Myth unit. Massive dark humanoid that can teleport between bodies of water. Good against ships and decent against human soldiers. 80 damage to AoE. Yep, it's a giant. So this is the Japanese giant. Let's see. Tonen Go. Gaio. No idea how to pronounce that. It's called the Age 3 myth unit here. Good against ships, dives in depths, resurfaces, so it's a submarine. Yep. Death is one of the 3 eternal truths. The other 2 are, of course, is taxes, and Epstein did not kill himself. Peltas would be a good counter to the Yumi Horse Archers. Hoplites would be a good journalist unit in this situation. And the Better Man upgrade will increase his bonus damage versus cavalry as well. Small amount, but does add up. That's a good number of Onimusha being queued on up, as well as Daimyo, big round of heroes, and well, some siege weapons. Bronze have been reutilized there. Blue has half the army size and half the valleys, so blue's more likely to go down. Plus the swamplands is going to be, I think, it's overpowered god power. Hippos managed to connect with the human horses, but they do bonus damage since they are classified as ranged. We've got Polyphemus now advancing way forward. Polyphemus is a hero, not a myth unit, so he's able to smash around the heroes no problem. Donkey caravans here. Got the fortress firing away. Good number of Peltas and Hippos being summoned. We've got these now guys fully upgraded. 30 range, 50 base damage. Should start cleaving through these units quite nicely. Donkey Caravan does go down. The Donkey Caravan's being intercepted. Cox stays here. More boiling oil being researched. Red has a pretty sizable reinforcements there, including Shinobi, which do have a crush damage attack against structures. Donkey Caravan's going on down. Yep, it looks like Blue's just going to get overran. He's going to start going for Prodromos. Ceasefire, which is... Was this his first one or his second one? I can't remember. I think that's the second one. Trying to use it to recover. This one right now does have Champion. Next year, of course, give him Elite for his dojo units, which is the Samurai, the Onimusha, and the Shinobi. Good now put Prodromos on the field. They have a times 3.5 multiplier versus cavalry. And I think Red's going to start closing out the game now. He does have a single siege weapon for crush damage. Yep. I think the biggest problem was against Blue was Red had 2 additional town centers, giving nearly twice the amount of military population. Well, we got some of the unique units now being put on the field. Herontaros. That little bit of AoE is very important, but it still needs to be in good numbers. Splash damage itself is a good way to help deal with human soldiers. And with Archean donkeys, let's get, of course, not donkeys, Archean horses. Gets access to some life steal to go along with it. Peltas being utilized to great effect against the Yumi horse archers. As much as said about Hoplites, of course, melee. These guys are going to reach the back line. Excuse me. More swamplands being summoned. And of course, got a Titan Gate being built by Red and now. I don't think any way Blue can really stop it. When it comes to Titans, Greek heroes, of course, are far too little numbers to stop the Titans. There are a lot of other civilizations. Militia now counterattacking. They do have a bit of multiplier versus these cavalry units there. They are also affected by the champion upgrades and the... I guess they may not have even medium upgrade on them. And Blue backs the game now. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I already have somebody watching this game. Is the game any good? Above average. Well, good night and happy Thanksgiving or Turkey Day. Actually, that's wait, that was this one, right? No. That was... Could do that one. Carmako. Anything down here seems great. Yeah, we'll just do this one. Happy early Turkey Day. Will that make it Chicken Day? Greetings everyone, and great here for another Age Mythology replay. Spawn bottom left side as a blue Oranos. We got Kananar Mako. Spawn top right side as the red... Is that Hades? Yes. As red Hades, we got D Loudness with a lowercase o. Of course, when it comes to these gods, Oranos is the vision mobility major god. So it's going to use build new sky passages per age. Can use sky passages. Units have additional line of sight. Oracles generate plus 25 favor at full line of sight, making it very nice for favor generation. And damage units remain visible for plus 25 seconds. So biggest aspect is, of course, the sky passages. Additionally, he does have his unique upgrade, increase infantry speed by 10%, which compounded weightless maces for a hero called Peltus to make them move absurdly fast, like 5.8. Of course, Hades is a common major god for the Greeks. Rain soldiers and buildings. Get some shades to throw some shade at your opponents. Mythians generate hit points. Rain soldiers get additional 1 range and line of sight. Rain fortifications has 2 range, and Bloodsticks and Burning Pitch are instantly free. Get research instantly for free at the respective ages. His unique technology is the Vault of Erebus, giving you 2 gold per second trickle. Very nice. Let's see now. Hades tends to follow a pretty big trend of range units. I'm more biased towards Ares because of the Bow of Horde to give them additional 10% damage on the Toxays. And early high passes could be quite nice versus a lot of civilizations, honestly, because they're a counter infantry unit there. And also, I do like the Phobos Spear of Panic as well, giving the Hoplites divine damage, as well as Prodromos, the counter cavalry unit, additional divine damage as well. They do have a times 3.5 multiplier, but should be applied with the divine damage while at it. I mentioned you get an okay god power, got nerfed from Gold Edition, and a decent myth unit, the Cyclopes. Athena is the more common selection for most players. Restoration is a very good god power. I would rate Restoration higher than Pestilence. Mentor would rate lower than Cyclopes. Additional Pierce Armor could be very nice if you think your opponent's going to go for more range units. Only affects your infantry. And Ceresia makes your hoplites get additional range and damage. Still biased towards Spear of Panic when it comes to sword. Nope, that's my biases. Of course, Oranos will be fighting. Let's see, he is going to be aging up with Ares. Very good. When it comes to Oranos, he's going to be fighting against Hades, which means more range stuff, so pull an eye for counter range. In this case, neither of these two minor gods help fight range units. Carnivore is a nice god power. You get a flying healer, which is always very nice with this mace. Like I said, it was pretty good for improving your counter cavalry units, which both Zeus and Hades still go for Hippus occasionally, so it's a nice upgrade to have. By the Shark, if you have Mormellos and Fanatics plus 5% damage, not great. Get Bleed Effect, which is also not great. 5% is pretty low. I don't really value this upgrade too much. Well, Heroics makes it cheaper for promoting your infantry units, which is nice, but not really critical. Prometheus is more likely to be the selected one, because Valor's a pretty good god power as well. Promethean, is a cheap one, mostly useful for Kronos, honestly. Not great. And faster research time, not great. Theft of Fire is the main part of Prometheus. Makes your heroic citizens to do their part 20% faster. And let's see, he's going for Oceanus, quite understandable. The Carnivore is a pretty good god power. Both of them are very good. The three, the minor gods for the Atlanteans, I prefer Leto. which I think is the least selected of the three as well. I value the increased pierce armor quite nicely, and not to mention I also really value spider layers. I think players should really spam that ability out more often. Especially if your opponents will be hyper aggressive for raiding cavalry, or not seeing raiding cavalry as a unit, but as cavalry raiding. It can make some decent landmines. In which two of the three minor gods for the H2 for the Lanteans involving summoning something to eat something. Colossus smacking the Oracle. The Oracle has, whoa, Wood Trickle relic. That's pretty nice. Ajax is going to try to stop him. The Cyclops will have trouble dealing with the Oracle because he's heroic-fied. Sanctified. Maybe no Valorified. Looks like the citizens doing quite good work and being a bit of a meat wizard, turning turkey into turkey, or in this case, chicken into the chicken. Chicken turkey. I do love the fall skin there. It just turns it changes the turkeys into chickens, or chickens into turkeys, which they did a pretty good job in the model there, which could be something from Age of Empires 3 imported in. And then you also the carcass, instead of just a carcass, it's a cooked turkey. I just love the fun skins like this. Other things with this this time of year, it replaced berry bushes with pumpkins, which are a gourd, not a berry. But still, good enough. Just having fun. Got sentinels here. Deployed out here. Didn't need to do that. Wait until your opponent's actually raiding, then you could summon it. You know as well, it's good to protect yourself from raiding, not against armies. Sentinels, they don't have much health to them. They're not much meat on the bones, because they're made out of stone, and they don't have any bones. Caladra taking a bit of damage there. Ajax having trouble hitting the Caladra with his spears. Another claim, increase the range damage of ranged soldiers and heroes. This should multiplicatively apply to Atlanteans, because the Atlantean heroes are both classified as a ranged soldier and hero. Generally, that's how that works for Atlanteans. Though, if the upgrade applied is like either rather than separately applied, there's also some coding things where not necessarily the case. If one action is looking for either, then apply it once. If it has two separate actions, one looking for one looking for either, it will both apply. If that makes any poor sense. Marmello is spreading out trying to find the villager, but he has already evacuated out of the region. Very nice. We got some goats here. Goats, of course, the goat. Blue has obtained 8 goats. Red has obtained... looks like 9, but is eating one pretty early. Does has husbandry, but eating it maybe way too early in my opinion. Eat the turkeys first. Or chickens. The giant chickens. Medium infantry, medium marmellos being researched. Since we got a bit of eco phase, we'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit there. When it comes to the next possible age up, we do have the poison bow here, bite of the shark, copper upgrades. Let's see. Thea or Hyperion. Hyperion does improve all your oracles for more favorite generation, which goes quite nicely for Oranos for favorite generation. Heroic heroes nice. Heroes increase hit points and of course additional and give them health regen. And of course satyrs are not a bad myth unit. They're just a solid backline one. Oops. Sorry, I missed this. We do have these Marmellos 4. They do find the sentinels. 3 of them are currently firing. 1 will be quickly picked on off. Not much health to stay alive. And the Caladra is keeping some of these units quite alive. And these are also classified as structures and not as myth units. Yeah, it's being quickly picked on off. Like I said, they're meant to be an anti-raiding tool, not an anti-army tool. This is getting to the point where it's more close to army, but still a bit of a raid. 38 versus 40 civilians to do their part. Now Imperial speed increase infantry movement speed by 10%.
Skopos. Yuji.
Uge.
Burek.
Nice little enter and exit there.
Skopos.
Did it with the Mormello as well. Very nice. Took some damage there, but keeps it alive, which means it will do more than just nothing and become a corpse on the ground. Let's see. Other one is Thea. So, yeah, good for favor generation and heroes. They, of course, give you Hesperides trees, will give you Dryads, which takes their gimmick is 0 population. Symphony Bird is a simple early flyer. Contineris increase their damage by 50%. Sensitivity is fighting against Hades, who's more likely to get out Toxthays and other range units. This could be a better path, given improving your cavalry to counter them, and reduce the cost of cavalry as well. So Thea is a good option as well. Chaos is a good god power. Hesperides is a good god power. Hard to say which one he should go for. Atlanteans are not really confined to any specific unit. And since Oralis is not really improving these units, he also hasn't got any building sky passages strength enough. He's going for mass heroes here. Cyclops throws a guy there. Getting a bit of damage on everything. Good number of Caladria here. Maybe a little bit too many Caladrias for healing, but they are getting some good healing done. Toxay is a good backline there. Since Marmels have low pierce armor, Toxays are a good counter to this situation. You have Apollo being researched, which is probably the better of the two gods for Ares. You gotta go for Aphrodite or Apollo. Apollo improves all range units with the Sun Arrow, which improves Toxays, Peltas, and Manticore damage and Myth units damage. Manticore, like I said, is a good Myth unit. I really do like the Manticore. It's a good, solid backline Myth unit. Bit more expensive side, but it just throw quills all the time and does decent work. 11 damage times 3. Carnivore summon does shockwave the Toxthays, which stuns them. Eats one of those Toxthays with the Carnivore. Looks like the Manticore will get overran by the heroic Marmellos. Heroes are quite common when fighting against Atlanteans, so going for mass units is not that great, and especially if you do, better go for ranged ones to avoid much of the frontline damage. So Manticore will probably be a bit more in his favor. Other options later on would be Chimera or Colossus, neither of which I don't think would be great. More collage on the build queue. A little bit too many. There's already 4 here. I think you just cancel them, because I don't think 7 would be great. Carnivore will go down. Saved a good number of villagers there. Chiron being queued on up. Has access to the Underworld Pass with excellent god power. Scout is down, which is honestly sort of surprising that the Scout stayed alive this long. Not big surprise. We now have Thea being researched. Will give access to Dryad and Symphiline Bird. Yep, I think Contineris would be a great call. Bobo Spear Panic being queued on up. Against Marmellos, it'd be okay, since it'll be equal footing for Hoplites versus Marmellos, roughly. But would be very nice for the Prodromos if this one does go for Thea, which he is, and will go for, and can go for Prodromos to counter the Contineris. You now have Fortress being established here. Hades is very far away from aging up. Of course, Poseidon's also far from aging up, but also is aging up. Heavy infantry queued on up. There's economic tax. Symphylian bird now deployed on the field. When I say upon the field, I mean above the field. Prosperity tree deployed out here. Get 2 free dryads. They cost no faith and no population. They're just a cheap ball of stats, which is always nice to have. Vault of Arab is now being queued on up as well. That's something we probably would see a bit earlier, but either way, we will now have his gold triple. Oh, underworld passage. Over here, finds citizens. Shockwaves protect the citizens. Takes out one of the citizens. Has some Hypastus. Carnivore here. Chiron could take time to finish off the Carnivore. Does pick off one of the Caladria. Red's going to be back off to the Underworld Passage. Pegasus there was, of course, meant for spotting. Number of farms here. Basic walls over here as well. Blue's gone for this town center. This town center is still pretty safe in the sphere of influence. Sky Passage here. Cooking some delicious Pumbaa. Ares is about to age up. He has all the prerequisites, I believe. Agent for Hepatis. I think honestly Artemis may have been a little bit better. Got attack attack going. Artemis will give access to additional damage for all range units, though Hepatis will improve his damage for his unique crossbowmen. Mass heroics here. Looks like Blue's trying to be a hero. I think the people should go for unique crossbow a little bit more. Don't go for additional sentinels there. It's meant to stop raids as an army. Contenaris and Dryads being summoned. Definitely get out Prodromos against all the cavalry that's been coming out. Hoplites could be used mixed on in. Prodromos would be a bit more designated counter. Though again, the Prodromos is a Dark Age. Or for more Prodromos and Hoplites, getting some counter cavalry units there, both flavors. Yeah, the Dark Age version is a little bit on the weak side, though it does have +1 divine damage, of course. Sentinels did actually protect him from those various outlying units there. And I suppose with Hades does get free ballistics, which is nice. So putting tracking rate to 99, everything else gets 3. What exactly is tracking rate, how exactly it's calculated, no idea. Prophetic Sight, increasing favor generation. Walls being established next to the walls, and also obtain this town center. Got odd amount of favor here, so one of those relics that Blue picked up must provide additional population per town center. Obtained 5 relics. Triple wood, house hit points, Eye of Horus. There's the town center population increase. Here's Hercules and hero speed. His weightless mace Calpeltus will be even greater. Both players have stone walls researched. Greatly improving durability. I think it was like 500 to, in this case, 1,320. A usable amount of health rather than a roadblock. Who's going for some destroyers? Very nice. Which are they themselves are more or less a counter range unit, just because they have high pierce armor. And a number of them heroic fight as well. Who's Red's advancing through this location as well. Another carnivore is summoned. Both sides are forfeiting a town center. Red trying to build a forward fortress here. He is going for a unique crossbowman variant. Here we have it. With free incendiary arrows, has times 23 multiplier versus structures, which is does make a noticeable impact. Attack speed's a little bit slow, of course. Base damage is 9.4. Of course, right now they're just only heavy. Decent all-around range support unit in general. You don't need too many on the field, just enough to help hit structures. Okay, so the fortress there. Fortress goes down. Pestilence being summoned. Lodge has a Symphony Bird flying over here now. More patrols being flown on the field. Still Dark Age variant. He sees the destroyers, so he sees more medals. You also see the containers. And looks like Auron's going to be aging up with Hecate, give access to Lampades, a very fun myth unit in my opinion. And of course, you get a very fun Godfather in the Tartarn Gate.
Skopos.
Who's now building another town center. These guys do have 24 range, is one of the biggest aspects. Huh, did they always... I don't know why, it seems like the animation seems a little bit different. A little bit weird though, it's like they have no grasp of the crossbow. The way town center does get interrupted and just slowly being whittled down. And thanks to the Coloss or Hepatus upgrade, he gets bonus damage multiplier against Mythians. Going for a Healing Temple, Iron upgrade, no champion range, or medium cavalry. Those wouldn't be necessarily cost efficient right now until he gets max of population. Spetty's tree now deployed on the field. Achilles does go down here. As you have now these strides push forward. Looks like the tree gets turned to stone. Shade will go down. Haven't seen too many shades on the field, have we? Yeah, but we haven't really heard them being summoned all too much. We now have a fire siphon in the build queue. We also got draft horses, going for champion upgrades here. Donkey caravans, guard towers, hoplites. Hit this. We do have now the champion breed soldiers. We do have Tartarn Gates summoned out somewhere. I have no idea where though. Right here. But it's way too close to everything. You want to put the Tartarn Gate on the back line to interrupt trade in my opinion, rather than use the front line. This is ultimately just doing nothing other than being a distraction. That was a really bad Tartarn Gate. Still a good number of Tartarn spawn here though. How you should use a Tartarn Gate in my opinion is big fight going on. You see where your opponent's trade is in the back line. Plop it down where the trade is at, and just you want to use it to constantly deny trade. Or just somewhere in the back line where it hits villagers. Let's say there's a big farming complex. It's an anti-civilian tool, to say the least. Sky Patch does go down. Structure slowly been picked off by the crossbowman. Got a good number of Hesperides trees. If Red's able to obtain the Hesperides trees, he can summon out his own Dryads. Red has obtained a Hesperides tree. Red is not yet queued up any Hesperides trees or any Dryads. Blue does re-obtain it. With another fortress here. Blue's now trying to build this town sort of here. Does have a watchtower nearby. Those are trying to shank at the citizens. Blue's army has been resummoned over here. Blue has a sizable army here. Those largely inflated by the Dryads, which are a nice unit, but not a great unit. Carnivore, of course, got some here as well. Fire Siphons firing away. Reds are now not building too much at the moment. Probably a good idea from Saber's Fate for more of the Plenty Vaults. 8 villagers is the soft cap on Favor generation. Looks like another Dryad gets turned to stone. Military academy is being established now. Carnivore is getting shot. Perseus should just take time, or Chiron's going to take out the Carnivore.
Buraya.
Citizens push away forward. Got some llama caravans here. Llamas tend to only cause nothing but drama. Towns that are being obtained immediately gets picked off by the crossbowmen. Trying to rebuild that town center now. There's another fortress there. We got a Lampades here. Medium Prodromos now pulling a few. This one does not have it does have a good amount of cavalry, so Prodromos wouldn't be half bad. Hoplites wouldn't be half bad in general as well. There's a good number of Dryads here, that's for sure. Unless they've been saying his favor, just get out more Hesperides trees to get more Dryads in the field. To really inflate his numbers. Right now, Blue has more than twice the value on the field than Red. More hoplites, more boiling oil, and more medium hippus. It does feel like Blue's in a great position, that's for sure. He has a good front. He has a nice, durable front line and a good back line of fire sites. And the Caladra is doing some decent work on healing as well. Sadly, there's no heal counter here. Some of these Dryads are getting some good amount of damage done as well. Donkey caravans being intercepted. We have the fortified town centers now. Ares right now does have a good amount of wood and gold. He could have been going for more range and just something. He has a Phoenix Spirit population, but he's building nothing at the moment. He's going for Colossus at the moment. But not even Silver Colossus, let alone Gold Colossus. So they get some force in the field. Trying to go for another fortress here. Who's going for some more Momellos? Let's see, the first Colossus upgrade, does that I think that costs wood, right? So you should be able to at least get a Silver Colossus upgrade. First one's wood, second one's gold. So he does have plenty of resources for the Silver Colossus. More Sentinels, it's not a great idea. It's an anti-raiding tool, not an anti-armor tool. Fanatics cost a blow in the field as well. Also having trouble connecting, being trying to run away. Mythic Rejuvenation gives Mythic Units additional health regen. In Gold Edition, that also affected Titans. Not sure if it does it in Retold. We also got the Asper Blood here, increasing gives your Lampe's ability to turn enemy units into chickens. I wonder if it be chickens or turkeys the Thanksgiving patch or skins. Clarity increases range and melee myth units attack speed by 25% and increase their speed by 10%. Increased attack speed should be pretty nice, particularly for the Dryads. Also can be nice for other units as well. Give now that 1.13 attack speed. Increase their DPS to 23.5, whatever it was beforehand. Plus, they are also a little bit lumbering. Now they move at 5, which is actually a decent pace. And Red does back the game now. There's Angrade saying, well, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started next replay, I'm going to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. Apologies, I am back. Nice. Smoked potatoes, huh. I don't think I've had that in a while. Most of the times I just have baked potatoes. Too low. No, keep an eye on anything here that stands out. Don't recognize any of these names. We're just going down the list one by one. Could eye that one. Above average. Too low. Way too low. Too low. Yep, we'll go here, right? Yep, Percy. I can feel my voice already going out, so this is probably gonna be my last replay for tonight. Right now my nose has just been very stuffy. By the way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on top right side is the blue Poseidon, we got Hersey. Spawn on bottom left side is the gray Gaia. We got Ultra Instinctor. Or All-Train Instinctor. I don't know why I can split this name multiple different ways. I see Ultra, but I also see the word train. And I also see Instinctor. Ultra Instinctor, I think. I have no idea. Either way, let's go ahead and talk about the major gods. Gaia, or Poseidon, is a cavalry and economic flourish. Militia spawns from raised buildings. Cavalry, caravans, and everything to get additional speed per age, particularly useful for caravans for increasing the income from them. Stable markers are cheaper. Marks have improved hit rates to get free hippocampus with the unique upgrade and make your village or cavalry have additional line of sight and a little bit of health regen to make them go longer ways. Gaia, of course, is also an economic god or titan. Economic in building, serve heroic citizens, and reduce the cost of promoting heroic citizens by 25%. Economic guilds and technology is 35% cheaper. Economic guilds also provide lush. Economic guilds, towns and manors, all these buildings here provides grow lush, and lush provides some health regen here. I just realized something, you could go like this. I never noticed that there's a scroll bar there. And of course, you can turn lush into creep and make your units move 50% faster on top of lush. Good for your caravans to get more increased trade rate. Do eye that. When it comes to the minor gods, for Poseidon, let's see. Gaia can go for any path. She's not really locked into any certain unit type. Well, Poseidon tends to prefer cavalry. This is more focused on cavalry. So you could go for Hermes for Spirited Charge for improves cavalry, but I'm also a bit more biased with Photo Spirit Panic to give additional divine damage to Hoplites, Militia, and Prodromos. And of course, a couple other very useful upgrades to go along with him. I'm more biased towards Ares, though Ceasefire is probably better god power than Pestilence. Myth unit spies can go either way. Cyclopes are good frontline myth unit, and Centaurs are a decent backline myth unit, but they're both H2 variants, so not excellent, just decent. When it comes to Gaia, you got Oceanus or Leto. I'm very biased towards Leto. Oceanus provides a Carnivora, and of course Kaladra for a flying healer. Carnivora is a good support god power. Versus Poseidon, who's tend to go more on reliant on cavalry, so Weightless with Mace is a pretty good upgrade for him, improving their movement speed and damage for the counter cavalry Peltus. Additionally, Bite Shark is your Mormellos and Fanatics plus 5% damage and a bit of bleed damage, when the bleed damage is not great in my opinion. Cheaper promotion is always quite nice though. Leto. Spider Lair is a pretty good god power. You spend a small amount of air to basically pick off 3 of your opponent's units, and fighting against Poseidon is more like to go for cavalry, as mentioned. Means the 3 units you could kill, that the spiders can kill, or would likely be cavalry. Automatons, they're cheap myth unit, we all know who they are. It's one of the antagonists and one of the campaign missions. A bit of health regen hit points on those. Here's a fun upgrade, improving your pierce armor for your automaton and human soldiers, all human soldiers, and additional increase for heroes as well. Pretty good upgrade versus gods who focus on ranged units such as Hades, and of course with a bit of capability for your oracles, improves their favor generation is also very nice. You have Oceanus queued on up and Hermes. I think people don't use Leto as much as they should. Either way, relic got picked up. We do have Little Crow Circle. Reduces the food and gold cost of armory upgrades. That's pretty good. Yeah, minus 50%, that's quite a bit. Doesn't improve your pierce armor, but... Oh, it does partially affect it, but for the other ones, yeah, that's pretty good. Military barracks, counter barracks. Another charge of Gaia's Force can be summoned. The lure here has lured in a bunch of turkeys, some delicious turkeys. Goes for the zebra, which I believe does have better food generation. I think rhinoceros provides even better food generation, but it's a little bit hostile if you attack it. Sorry, I'm getting lost in the music. I love the Age of Mythology music, and the remaster one just makes it just slightly more impressive, which is a good way to go. Don't change it. Just improve the number of instruments to give it a bit more fuller sound. Because early audio has, of course, had to be compressed, so you can't make the music too complex, or it's just maybe start crackling. Weightless mace now being researched. You also have the winged messenger there, gives free Pegasus, make them also move faster and see more, so excellent Pegasus. Pegasus takes out that carnivore no problem. Oracle does slap that centaur in the butt twice, dealing exactly 50 damage there.
Here, Joes.
Now 10 damage times 6, so that should be roughly 60 minus the armor. Ceasefire summon, trying to get this town sort of built with little problems. Has another 13 seconds. This is going to last for another 20 seconds, so it will be successful. Looks like Poseidon found Hectate's torches. Gaia, of course, can research Hectate. More archers, Toxidae being some. Got now the medium range soldiers now being researched.
Yuji?
I'm going to fast forward a little bit there because right now looks like just overall being the economic phase. When it comes to the next god upgrades, you got Dionysus and Aphrodite. Both are good gods. A bit more leaning for Poseidon, Dionysus. You get access to Bronze, Hydra. Dionysus improve all units' hit points by 5%, and of course you got Tharkin horses improving lifesteal on all your cavalry by 30%, which is very nice. Of course, we do have Aphrodite, provides Curse, which is a good god power, and Nemi Lion's decent myth unit. And of course you get Divine Blood, improves your villager's speed, build speed, and carrying capacity. Excuse me. And you of course get golden apples for more favor generation. All of that, very nice to have. We do now have for Gaia. I can't. Oh, she's already aging up to Rhea. Rhea, I think, is usually the one I would recommend for Gaia either way. Rhea does give you access to very fun trader god power. Behemoths give you an early myth unit siege weapon. Not too particularly important in my opinion. What's something pretty nice is Horns of Consecration. You get your age 4 infantry unit in age 3. It reduces their train time even further. They already train pretty quickly. So with Gaia, you get all you can upgrades an age earlier. Now you get this unit an age earlier, which really decent incentive need going for age 4. You just need to get the champion upgrades at that point in time and the iron upgrades. Orichalcum Mill gives you infantry hack armor, which is pretty nice in general. Whereas Gift refunds all the mythological upgrades favor cost, which is very nice. And of course set them down to 0. It only costs 150 resources, fast research rate. It's a very nice thing to give you a rebate, so you don't have to feel bad going for any of these upgrades earlier on. Just get this and call it good. And that's not important. Raise minions automatically repair friendly nearby units near your dock, so gives them a bit of health regen, or I guess if you really want to play Age of Empires 4. Either way, we do now have Gray advancing. We got a Behemoth there. The Behemoth. Offering 110 crush damage, 700 health. It feels a little bit squishy overall, but does have good anti-structure damage. Has a bit of health regen as well. Atlanta needs to go straight to the Behemoth. And does trade the Centaur there. Probably the best target right now. Poseidon's still H2. Carnivore summon. Behemoth does get killed off there. But Townsend took a beating there, that's for sure. Vajra may get picked off, but does save it. And they can always just heal the rest of these forces later on.
Correct.
Cherry post now pulled in field. Atlantia being resummoned. I don't know why in this picture, giving a distance how small it is, it just looks like it's a queen. I don't know why. From this size, just looks like a queen to me.
Yuji.
Oracles here maybe a little too close to each other.
Yuji. Skopos.
Yeah, providing 0.4, so this one's losing out on with 2 nearby oracles.
Bureg.
We have some medium containers now being queued on up and copper weapons. Blue's gone for a handful of forearms. Still got some monkeys here. They're not too delicious. Only have 125 foods located inside their bodies. Enough to feed 2.5 villagers. You're now Lord of Horses, Medium Cavalry, the Civilian Warlord, which is improvement on Centaurs. Probably better go for Spirit Charge first. But if he's going for that, he's going to go heavy in Centaurs. Which only has the one at the moment. Yep, both players ecoing up. Going to fast forward a little bit. Here's something. We got some Cotoneris raiding Belzica Hippus there. We do have Dionysus now queued on up. Watchtowers to keep watch. Heavy cavalry, heavy infantry, behemoth, more marmellos. Granary now being obtained to store all the grain that he's going to salvage from the zebra's bodies. Clearly those things are filled with grain. Another town center deployed on the field by Gray, who has 70 civilians. Gray has 25 citizens do their part. Heroic term being picked up by the Hippus. Sound like a behemoth took damage there, but it did not. Counselor has been repaired up. Behemoth needs to stop advancing forward, is a little exposed. Ephesus and Lantia nearby. No Hippolyta just yet. The Behemoth will be going down. A Hydra on the field. One Hydra to hail. I hear something up here. Looks like a behemoth managed to get into town. Yeah, this behemoth should not have gotten this far. And the town slows down. The militia are going to be angry. They're going to try to stab the behemoth with a bunch of pointy sticks. Traitor Godpower somewhere. Looks like he went and grabbed Hydra to hail. Hydra is quickly going down there. Continent's flanking the top stage is very nice. Now got bronze activated for blue. Arcus archers now pulling the field. Not even medium, just Dark Age Arcus archers. couple of these militia here that killed off the... Oh wait, no, the behemoth's still alive. The militia and the behemoth managed to make its way to this town center. Caladra is taking time to heal the behemoth. Very nice. Gray's going to be falling back and let's use behemoth to draw some fire there. Caladra needs to fly back as well. More Contineris, more Argus archers being deployed in the field. Caladras need to fall back. Speed of charge not queued on up, and Blue's going for Hippolyta as well. Orichalcum now being researched, which I believe Orichalcum is a gold titanium alloy, maybe a bit of chromium mixed on in. Now Tharkian horses being researched. Blue's going for heavy in the horse style. A couple pulses would be a good idea for Gaia to start queuing up some of them. And with the amount of Contineers now being on the field, Blue should start eyeing for a bit more Prodromos than Hippus. Copper shields researched. A number of medium Prodromos over here. Which actually they don't have too much range armor. Nor really high hack armor. Probably because maybe they're missing some upgrades. Yeah, basically all of the blacksmith upgrades as opposed to only copper. Baroque destroyers push way forward. They have high pierce armor, and they do have a bit of health regen from the nearby Caladra to heal them up. Given enough time, the destroyers will destroy the town center. It's in their name. Force pushing forward does have some militia mix on in. Good number of Argus archers here. Now they're medium. Hippus being picked off by the Prodromos. Does take out the towns that are there. And the militia are storming out now. Gray's now going for another behemoth. And some of those villagers are collect the gold deposit. Not like they can really run away. And they should be spotted by those Caladria. Looks like they're not being spotted by Caladria. Caladria is not meant to be a scouting unit. Then again, of course, Gray doesn't have any units over here. See, Gray has an army of size of 86. Look at it all over here as well as over here. Behemoth taking out Granary. Citizens starting to collect up some of these rhinoceros as well. Blue's splitting up his force, sending the Prodromos down south. So this is going down, so does the Oracle. Got his Gaia Forest being summoned out somewhere. Up, see ya. Enjoy your potatoes. Behemoth Dines Townsend by getting intercepted by Atlantia. Contineris being intercepted by Prodromos. So there's some of those units there. Caladra backing on off. Feels like Blue's in a pretty good position right now. Blue has a large military force on the field, and it's more Valley on the field. Gray does have maxed out civilians, though. Going for more Contineris and Arcus archers. We do have now Artemis being queued on up. Surprised we didn't see Habitus to get access to more powerful upgrades for his unique cavalry unit. We do now have the Atlas being queued on up, give access to Argus, and of course to Implosion, which is not as great as the most powerful magic, Explosion.
Yuji. Skopos.
Fortified towns are now taking some damage. It is actually cute out Canoptic right, so maybe I'm for more Hydras. It does give them a good amount of health for Gen. Which means if you can keep the Hydra alive in between conflicts such as this, they of course get a lot more heads.
Burek.
Fanatics queued on up. Of course, Guy did research the one upgrade Horns Consecration, give them early Fanatics. We do have the Arcus Archers and Murmello being Heroic-fied, Sanctified.
Yuji.
And let's find good enough of these units here. Good amount of militia here to do their anti-cavalry. They are affected by medium infantry. Even though there's no visual upgrade onto them. Maybe they should give them visual upgrades onto them. Just start replacing the straw hats with copper hats, iron hats, and then golden hats.
Skopos.
Implosion being summoned. Right in the middle of the fortress here. Somewhat fitting. His army's going to be counterattacking there. Explodes outwards. Blue's army's falling back there. I just do, of course, have some good health for Gen now. So if he sends units one at a time, it will really feed the Hydras. Particularly heads. Got Argus here. Hippolyta needs to start targeting the Arcus. Target the Argus, not the Arcus. Fire Siphon here. Oh, and Trader's on the Hydra there, which actually looks like it loses its head after being Trader. The other Hydra still now has 3 heads. Gotta be getting close to a 4th head. 4-headed Hydra. It has taken a severe damage on the 50 health, 40 health, 20 health. Pull back the Hydra. You gotta keep the Hydra alive. Task everything else to attack. Alpha-Gen is kicking in. And the Hydra stays alive. And that's a 4-headed Hydra having 144 damage or 96 DPS. Just task the Hydra back home, let it heal up normally. If an upgrade is considered normal. We do have some champion Prodromos here. There's some champion Heritaros now plotted field, which is an excellent unit To fight against small targets with a splash damage. It is effectively anti-range, anti-infantry unit there, while still being capable of fighting other targets. Got some high passes being queued on up and some donkey caravans. Not sure. There's the market. Going to this town center up here. Got now Lush or channels being researched to improve his move speed on Lush.
Yuji.
Tries the way forward, trying to take out some of these citizens. Draft horses, coinage, conscription being researched by Poseidon. Another behemoth being put up by Athena or Gaia. Bit of health regen on these guys. The Hydra. It's its way forward. The Hydra's not been fully healed on up. Has excellent crush damage to work with. Also got some of the Heliopoli. You actually don't really see them all too often. The Hydra does go down. The free Chimera still taking damage there. Polyhemus knocks around good enough of those units there towards siege weapons, taking out some of the barracks now. Cavalry trying to take out the siege towers now. Got a number of fanatics here, which are anti-cavalry tools, but Heracross can technically counter them with splash damage. Polyphemus knocks back some units there and forward, and knocks leftwards as well. Fanatics do have +% damage multiplier. Like Heracross, they do, let's see, 3 population. I think Heracross is actually 4, aren't they? Nope, they're still 3. Fanatic here, got some high passes to intercept the Fanatics as well. Caladria or Carnivore now floating the field. Polyteam is probably ready to smash the ground. Got a lot of medium Peltas here. He's not going to get too many range units here, so probably should cool off on the Peltas. Blue is actually going for a large number of Prodromos as well as Heracross. Going for the Shaft of Plague, or yeah, Shafts of Plague, increasing damage for ranged units by 10%, and give them poison damage. I don't like poison damage, it's not very good.
Burek.
Number of Peltas on the field. Going for more high passes, going for more Peltas. I disagree with the Peltas. Right now, Poseidon's actually running low on gold. Peltas are pretty cheap in gold, that's probably one reason why he's going for them. He actually has queued up the Flames of Typhon. And he's going for more Chimeras. Those are trying to build another fortress. Overall for Gray, got more Contineras, more Orcs Archers, more Mermellos. Takes out the fortress. Polyphemus does go down. Chimera immolates some of those units. Okay, another high pass is being pushed on forward. Does Trader a Chimera there? Chimera goes on down.
UG.
We did have Hippolyta in the mix of that. Probably she's the reason why that Chimera went down. We now have the Devotees of Atlas being queued on up, giving increased attack speed for the Fanatics as they start losing health. My apologies. In blue, still mainly deploying out donkey caravans. Guy right now only has 28 favor. It's mostly using favor on some of those god powers. Economic guild deploy the field, primarily for Lush. Combinator's trying to flank around, hit some of these backline units. They are heavy tall tasks now rather than medium.
Topos.
Gray's making some good grounds over here.
Burek.
And Darking Horses are keeping these Herataros and the Padromos alive quite nicely. Blues managed to slowly win this battle here. But Gray looks like a much better production queue going. We got good enough Padromos queued on up here. And we got some militia deployed in the field as well. They must have been cleaned up, existed around something, which they were consuming population space because of that. Blues makes push his way forward. Gray's falling his way back. More Memellos and Arcs Archers with Contineris. No counter units there. Probably really should be IND couple Peltis counter cavalry units. But all these small target sites allowing the Herataros to splash them all down. They're basically Age of Mythology's Cuirassiers. Does take out that Contineris there. Siege weapons slowly picking off some of these units. And structures, I should say. This Heliopolis could go straight for this town center. Right now, Gray is having trouble deploying any or maintaining any sort of army in the field. Blue is maintaining a maximum army and not taking many losses. Has nothing on the production queue whatsoever. Targets are eyeing for Titan Gate, queued up a couple more siege weapons together, going for Herataros now. We do now have ambassadors. Reduce. I don't think I've ever seen this research in single player. Reduce the tribute penalty, and looks like Great is back to the game now. It's Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, my voice is starting to go out, so that shall be my last replay tonight. So everyone,